And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on okay. And we'll all float on anyway. Okay. This is a good day to talk. A good day to have a voice. A good day to be heard. A good day to have ears. Hello, Venti, Alexis, Sackinator, Karen, Trombone Guy, Brandon, Sir Daniel. What are we talking about? Oh, you know, nothing particular. Stuff that you might want to talk about. Nagapack, Brian, hello, hello. Yeah. I'll be honest. I didn't have much time to prepare for this ahead of time. Not because I was busy, but because I went on a walk for 3 hours because the weather was nice. It's just sort of a spur of the moment thing. I just started walking and then I kept walking and then it was 3 hours later. You know how it is. Hello, Miggy, how do you pronounce that? Alejandor? I'm sorry, I don't know the pronunciation. Taco Flavors, Blue Lad. You saw an Albanian ad. Like, the ad was in the Albanian language, or like an ad to go to Albania? Are you gonna go to Albania? What's it like there? I've never been there. Had enough exercise yesterday to last you the rest of the week. Oh, was it leg day? Hello, Astrum. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Just okay, though. Winter guard competition. That sounds serious. If you're guarding things. I wouldn't know anything about it. There's no winter anymore. It's springtime. It was a whole 8 degrees today, so I went for a really long walk. It was stupid windy, though. The Albanian computer virus. Oh, what's that one? Is that a good one? Is that an all-time classic computer virus? Is that a classic? Just played in your Oculus. I mean, you could technically use, like, if you move your arms around enough, you're technically exercising if you're playing in VR. Seen the painting Saturn Devouring a Sun? Yes, I've seen that one. That's a classic. Tumblr really loves that one. Hello, Boo. It's always windy in Calgary. I believe you. I believe you. But it was extra windy. So windy that we had a weather warning for it. They were like, warning, it is windy as shit. Let me check the thing on AccuWeather or whatever. Yeah, it's an alert for wind warning. Wind warning in effect. Very strong winds early this evening. Very strong wind gusts near 90 kilometers an hour. Widespread power outages may occur. That's crazy. You could see all the stuff blowing around the construction site. Hello, Rygen. My family were talking about going to Canada one day. What time of year should we go during? Oh, I don't know. Maybe May? The weather's alright in May. There's no snow. Getting ready for summer. But that's the thing. It could either be rainy and shitty or 30 degrees, so I don't know what you want. But weather warnings for weeks in England now. Oh, okay. Is it the rain? Is it the rain? It rains a lot there, right? Is it raining? Wow, launching bins into the air. I'll tell you, it was no fun walking over that one bridge. It was soup. Dang, I just heard a really loud gust go by. Exactly, Alexis. It's fucking wimdy. it's still cold where you... That sucks. Man, I was so freaking hype. I was like, it's 8 degrees outside. I don't care if everything's melty and there's going to be puddles everywhere. And it's like, my feet got kind of drenched a few times, but it was worth it. I went outside for a very long time. I love doing that. Thank you, Brandon Porter, for the $5. Hold on, I don't actually have my headphones in. I'm not going to be able to hear it. Oh my god, I got knocked out for 3 hours? What the hell? That seems very unlikely. But maybe it did happen, but I didn't remember it. I just dreamed going on that long walk. I woke up back at home. Oh, nice! Max, you're getting 1,500 back? Sick. Why, with that kind of money, you could kill God. There was snow today and yesterday. There was snow last week here. I'm not saying the weather is ever consistent. Sorry, I hit the mic. That's my bad. Really want to see a cow flying in a tornado in person. Is that a real thing that can happen, or is that just from the movie Twister? For some reason, everybody in, like, my 6th grade class loved that movie or something. Like, we were having, I don't know, it was some sort of, maybe it was like the last day of class, we were all going to watch a movie, and everybody was just like, let's watch Twister. And it's like, we all really liked it. It's not that great of a movie looking back. That's an extra paycheck for you. Nice. You deserve it. I'm doing okay, Kathleen. It's from The Wizard of Oz, which is a documentary, but it also happened in the movie Twister. Tornadoes used to really scare you. Well, I can understand that if you live in an area with tornadoes, because, like, it is scary. They could, like, totally mess your shit up. Like in the movie Twister, where that girl's dad got sucked up into the twister. But we don't really have them around here. Well, actually, we did have kind of one, like, once, a few years ago. But, yeah, I mean, a guy died, but that was it. I'm doing okay, AVGN Gaming. You're not the real angry video game nerd. If a new Twister game got a movie based on it, can you imagine? That'd be like, I mean, Twister shows up in a lot of animes, I guess, so they could make a cartoon out of it. That shit was crazy in episode 3 of the Obey Me anime. Why the fuck were they playing Twister in high heels? That's ridiculous. Tornado sirens are some of the spooky shit ever. Yeah, well, most sirens are pretty scary. Ever heard of Siren Head? He's spooky for a reason. Two years ago, there was a tornado in my area, and I didn't know until the day after it happened. Wow. A true shut-in. Okay, you understand you're not the real AVGN. That's good. Okay. I don't understand these novelty accounts that you guys have. Like, maybe the spoon and knife guys I kind of get. Like, they're just having fun. But why are you role-playing as the guy who killed Lincoln? He did kill... It was Lincoln, right? I don't know American history. It's like those guys who roleplay as, like, classical music composers and then comment in the comment section of, like, their songs. They're just like, I'm just glad people are still enjoying this song. High heels means you always have the risk of getting your hand stepped on with the pointy bit. Jesus Christ. The first time and only time I've been in a tornado outside, the world turned green. Yeah, that's right, the sky turns green. I forgot about that. It's Twimsty. Yeah, there's also the guy who pretends to be Giorno from JoJo's. You just like Fallout New Vegas. Alright. That's my favorite video game. Probably Hollow Knight. I was gonna play it, but yeah, I'm tired. I'll play it later on my Switch. I own it on both Switch and PC. I bought it twice and I still spent less on it than I would have on any AAA game. Team Cherry are like absolute kings. There was a tornado while you were at a water park. Oh, that sucks. The tornado would suck up all the water. Hello, 30th Century Homer. My green? I don't know, because the sky is sick. It turns green. Because the tornado is an illness. I don't know. Can anybody confirm? Tornadoes make the sky nauseous. That's why it turns green. I'm floating in space? Yes. As you can see. Look at that schnazzy animation. Spent at least 5 minutes making it. The sky is jealous. Yes. The sky's like, oh, I want to rain down vengeance upon humans so bad. I really want to mess with them. And then they see the tornado over there absolutely wrecking shop. And they're like, oh, tornado. I wish I could be you. A butterfly flapping its wings in Africa will start a tornado over here. Yeah, well, that's the butterfly effect. Like, a butterfly flapping its wings can cause a hurricane somewhere else. Whatever. Like, the butterfly effect, that's like a real thing. Kind of like how a gorilla getting shot led to everything being ruined forever. Still, you're never going to convince me otherwise. If Harambe had never gotten shot, Trump never would have been president, and I believe that. Which orange came first, the orange or the fruit? I'm pretty sure the fruit came first. The color is named after the fruit, pretty sure. I mean, if you look that up, you can find out. Like, they've already figured that one out. Account that roleplays is the live slug reaction character and only comments on LGBT roleplay. That's actually a really good one. I would love that. Tumblr would love screenshots of that. Turns green due to the amount of cloud blockage of the sun, but also the light let through in the rear flank downdraft of the mesocyclone around the tornado. I'm gonna be real with you, Ryan. I didn't totally understand that, but at least you know. Ever seen Cool World? I saw the trailer for it. Don't ask why. Ryan, you're a storm chaser? Dang. Why do you want to know my opinion on Russia? I think I've made it quite clear. Fuck the Russian government. The Russian people are screwed, and that sucks. Also, Putin's an asshole. Of course, that's a bit of an understatement. I mean, he did threaten nukes, right? He threatened with the nukes. That's a bit of a problem. Like, you can't do that. That's the end of the world, man. And you live on it. Harambe never got shot, world peace would have happened. Maybe it would have. We'll never know. Yeah, Harambe dying was the flashpoint. Whatever that means. If one witnessed an Apple store get robbed, would that make them an eyewitness? If I witnessed an Apple store getting robbed, I wouldn't even call the cops. Let them have it. These do not hate the Russian citizens, only the politicians. Yes, I know. I said that. The Russian citizens are screwed because of all the sanctions and the Russian government being shitheads. The Russian people are fucked. And it's very unfortunate. Like, it sucks. It really does. But Putin can go fuck himself. Like, seriously. He can't get what he wants if the world must come to an end. Yeah. I mean, the only consolation I have on that area is, like, he can't launch the nukes himself. He can't just hit a big red button and launch them. There's other people involved, and they will probably stop him. Fruit orange came before the color orange, before they decided to name the color orange. Orange, the color was... Okay, well, yeah, that's a lot. The Harambe incident hadn't happened, anime would never be mainstream. Really? I feel like it was hitting mainstream even before then. If an outbreak started in Vegas, would it still stay in Vegas? No. No. Tired of having to live through these major historical events. Yeah, it's like, I really wish I wasn't living through a major historical event again. Putin launches a nuke, the whole world will flatten him, and he 100% knows it. Yeah. But if that happens, and the flattening does commence, he's just... Russia's gonna launch all the rest of their nukes fucking everywhere, and the world will be glassed. Let's just agree not to do nukes. It's fucked up. Like, even if nukes don't destroy the world, millions of people will die. And that's not even including the amount of people that will be injured and the places that will be unlivable due to the radiation. Like, it just destroys the planet. I can't see a situation where nukes don't destroy everything and humanity is, like, fucked for eternity. Like, even if people are hiding in underground bunkers and surviving, humanity is not gonna last for, like, I don't know... Maybe like 2 more generations? Talk about something more cheerful. You're right. We should. Let's not forget the fact that Mr. Krabs sold SpongeBob Soul for 62 cents. Oh yeah, that's right. He did that. It's fucked up. It's a secret to not dying of decompression, hypothermia, or lack of oxygen while in the vacuum of space without an EMU. Who says I'm not wearing one? Maybe it's invisible. You don't know. Kids studying right now, 100 years from now, are going to have a field day. No, they're not. Kids hate history. Like, I learned about World War II. That was a big thing. I didn't care. I wasn't having a field day. I was like, ugh, I gotta remember all these dates and names.
Hope this helps you a bit.
Oh, thank you, Jack Thompson, for the $2. Thank you. That does help. We're filling up the walk fund currently. So, a bit of a long story. I went for the 3-hour walk, about an hour and a half in. I made it to Bulk Barn. I bought, I bought some Tootsie Pops and some fig bars. They weren't very good. The fig bars weren't very good. I also bought a bus pass so I could go home and not have to walk all the way home. I walked most of the way home anyway, but I still took the bus technically. So yeah, all together with the bus pass and the food I bought, it was like $19. So I'm trying to make that back. I'm gonna save all those memes for my grandkids. That's a good idea because, as we all know, the internet is a constantly burning library of Alexandria, and those memes probably aren't going to exist 10 years from now, so it's a good idea to keep them. If World War IV starts, we won't even be surprised. I would be surprised that they skipped 3. What's my opinion on hackers? Well, it depends what kind of hackers you mean. Like, people who hack into, like, I don't know, like the servers of big corporations and like expose stuff, like Snowden style hacking. That's cool. Wait, did Snowden do hacking? No, was it Julian Assange? I don't know. One of those guys. People who like expose major corruption through hacking, those guys are cool. But the people who send out viruses that brick your PC unless you pay them $1,000, those guys can suck it. I hate them. I meant the movie Hackers from 1995. I haven't seen it. Snowden was a whistleblower. Okay, then Julian, the other guy. WikiLeaks, whatever. Oh, thank you, Max, for the $5. Thank you. Thank you for contributing to my walk fund. Would you like to live in space or the sea? Space. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Either way, it's kind of scary. I mean, in space is kind of difficult to live in because, you know, you've got the no gravity. That's a big problem. If you could live on the bottom of the sea, you would have gravity and that's fine, but you would also be really far under the sea. And what if the water pressure like collapsed and stuff? What's my power level? 3. Oh, thank you, Lost Pupper, for the $10. Thank you so much. And the, was that a Sheba? A Sheba with a heart? Thank you very much. I didn't miss much, Dashel. I've been hanging around. ASMR hacks the scammers and destroys all their PCs on their network. Yeah. What do they call that, a white hat? Would you rather visit the moon for a day or a country of your choice for a month? Moon for a day. Are you kidding me? Like, this is a personal preference thing. I don't like to be away from home for like anywhere longer than a week. But the moon? I'd be famous. I'd be on the moon. I'd put my own flag on the moon. The fake flag. Of course, it would get bleached by the sun, radiation from the sun, but you know what I mean. That'd be fun. Next part of Sundar AI. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I should do something with that. Oh, thank you, Banshee, for the $1.99. Thank you so much. This is great news. I have made back the money I spent on my walk.
Hello, heart.
Can you imagine how fucking awesome it would be to take a selfie with the Earth in the background? If I got a chance to go to the moon tomorrow, that would be my face reveal. Just a selfie of me on the fucking moon. Now, I guess being famous isn't an upside, but it's like weak fame. It's like, it's 15 minutes. If I went to the moon, everybody would be like, oh my god, she went to the moon for like a week, and then they'd forget about me. It's the fun kind of fame. What if the moon doesn't exist? Ridiculous. Most planets have moons. Rick Astley is better than an Earth selfie? What, do you want me to take a selfie with Rick Astley? I'm sure I could swing that if I had access to the moon. If we chip in enough to get a space ride to the moon, you'll do a face reveal. I mean, I'm sure if I paid fucking Bezos enough money, he'd take me to the moon, but no, I wouldn't do that. Your classmate is hyped up to go to the goddamn moon. ASMR when? Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. I like going on a field trip to the moon. You know, I imagine that'll just be a thing people do in the future. If space travel ever becomes really cheap, it'll just be a thing that students do in school. Going to the moon. And of course, because, you know, kids from every generation just, like, don't know how good they have it, it'd just be like, we have to go to the moon in class. It's gonna be so lame. They don't even have Wi-Fi there. You ever ride on a SpaceX Dragon? I don't like Elon Musk either. Fuck both of them. Private companies should not have their own space companies. Alright? I'm just gonna say it. The fact that people are so fucking rich they can have their own space companies is bullshit. Okay? Why do these people have more money than, like, God? This is ridiculous. Oh, thank you, Brandon Porter, for the $10.
Based on an SCP that's an entity in astronaut suit trying to convince PPA to come to the moon to help fight the moon monsters.
No, I don't want to diss you on this because that would be cool, but I believe there is an SCP that's a dude in an astronaut suit or just like a sentient astronaut suit that just floats around the Earth. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Actually makes space travel cheaper to have competition. Does it, though? What was the competition there? Like, what did we have? NASA? I don't know. I think that commercially available space flight isn't a thing currently is probably a good thing. Okay, Bish, stop asking me to notice you. You're being annoying. It's a guy in a suit that turns invisible. Huh. Government only before. Yeah, that was fine. Like, I don't like the idea of people being so stinking rich they can just fucking go to space whenever. Like, I don't know, I just feel like leaving the planet and going to space should be a community exercise, perhaps. What would happen if we had 2 moons? I've theorized on this before. And I gotta say, there would be wars. People fighting over which moon is better. Especially if they were different sizes. Or they would argue that they're the eyes of some god. Soon, the walk fund is the money that I spent on my walk, and I'm trying to make that back. But we made it back, so it's not a big deal. Send Bezos and Musk to space and leave them there. The tides would be messed up. Yeah, I wonder how are the tides affected on planets with multiple moons? Well, I guess it depends on the size of the planet too. Need a space elevator. Space elevators sound cool. Probably impossible though. What you'd do if you could go to the moon whenever you want? Like for free? I would go right now. Most planets don't have oceans to be affected by the moons. Why don't they have oceans? That sucks. Where are the space whales? Where are the space whales? There's, what's the moon? One of the moons of some planet in our solar system. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe one of the moons of Neptune? Not sure. There's a moon that's like covered in ice, and underneath that ice is water, so there might be space whales. There might be space whales. I want space whales. I want the space whales a lot. It's Europa. Yes, Europa. With the space whales. I want Europa to have space whales. Or just space fish. I'm not picky. Space dolphins, perhaps some space crabs. Space lobsters, I don't know. Space mermaids, yeah. Space mermaids. Gundam new type. I've never watched Gundam. I can't do it. Massive as its ocean is, it's probably got something bigger than a whale. I want them to look into that. The space people. I want them to look into it, and I want them to find either space whales, or if they've got a space megalodon, I'll take that too. If they have space sharks, I'll take space sharks. We could do that. We could have space sharks. I do like the idea of a space mermaid, like you're like an explorer or like an astronaut with like your crew. You go to a new planet you're exploring, and turns out it's like mostly ocean and it's all mermaids. The oceans on Europa are deeper than Earth's. Dang. I want to know what's going on under the ice. Europa, respond. Finding shark fossils would be very hard, but not whales. Oh, thank you, Jack Steiner, for the $20. H. Okay. Subnautica. Does Subnautica have mermaids? I know they got space whales. Probably. Starts aggressively writing. Write aggressively or...
H.
H. Do they have a satellite or something going to Europa? I feel like they would. When are they doing that? Wasn't that a movie? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think there was a movie about that. Where they were like, you know, like a sci-fi horror. They go to Europa, like a bunch of astronauts, and they get killed by a deep blue something. Europa movie. I don't know. Europa Report. 2013 film. Oh yeah, there it is. It doesn't have great reviews, but it looks alright. I don't recognize any of the actors in it. It's not The Shape of Water where she bangs the fish person. No, that's different. Saturn isn't close. How long would it take? 3 years? Most likely thing it has is some sort of microorganism, but it's life. That's still life, though. A living creature, even if it's tiny. That's really cool. And what if it's a tiny microscopic whale? There can be whales that are tiny. We don't know. Isn't Europa and Jupiter? Oh my god. What would you... God damn it, you're right. It says so on the Wikipedia page. Let's read the plot summary of the Europa report. Holy crap. It had a budget of less than 10 million and its box office was 125,000. That's so bad. That's so bad. But anyway, this is like piracy, except I'm not going to get dinged by the copyright robots. Dr. Unger, CEO of Europa Ventures, narrates the story of the Europa 1 mission. 6 astronauts embark on a privately funded mission to Jupiter's moon Europa to find potential sources of life. The crew members are Commander William... How do you pronounce it when it's just an X? Is it Zoo? It's spelled X-U. Is that Zoo? Is that how you say it? Pilot Rosa Dask, Chief Science Officer Daniel Luxembourg, Marine Biology Science Officer Katya Petrovna, Junior Engineer James Corrigan, and Chief Engineer Andrei Bloch. It's pronounced Zoo. Okay, good. Mars Needs Moms. I've heard of that movie. Why did they make that? That was back when they were doing all those like motion capture CG movies. Anyway, after 6 months of mission time, a solar storm hits the ship, knocking out communication with mission control. Bloch and Corrigan perform an extravehicular activity to repair the system from outside, but an accident rips Bloch's suit. While he is being guided back to the airlock, Bloch notices that Corrigan's suit has been coated with hydrazine, and he cannot enter the airlock or else he would contaminate the rest of the ship. Bloch attempts to save Corrigan by taking him out of his suit, but he blacks out from a lack of oxygen. Knowing there is no hope for himself, Corrigan pushes Bloch into the airlock, thus propelling himself away from the ship as it continues its journey to Europa. Stranded, he dies in space. The crew continue with the mission, demoralized by Corrigan's death. Honestly, I feel like space exploration has, like, better protocols than to just... Has anyone died in space? I mean, I know people have died on the way to space, but has anyone died in space? I feel... Because that always happens in sci-fi movies when they're in space. Like, an astronaut goes out and he gets screwed over while they're outside and they die. I just feel like astronauts would be way too careful to let that happen. The Russian dog. Okay, the animals... Listen, I'm not trying to discount the sacrifice that those animals made for space exploration, but... Come on. That doesn't count. I'm talking about humans, astronauts. They sent a monkey to space. Why do you think they have so many safety precautions? Yes, I mean, in space, though. Human beings, in real life, in space, dying. What are we talking here? Right, goodbye, Gourmet Burger, Knitchen. Goodbye. Good morning, JT Roseguard. Also, was that a Super Mario Brothers reference? The movie? 3 have died. Okay, fine. Fine, whatever. But has anyone died from just being in the vacuum of space? Because I could understand if, like, somebody got sick, they get space disease and they die. Has anybody just been in the vacuum of space and floated away to their death? What nationality are you if you're born in space? Probably whatever nationality your parent is. 1. That happened? Oh my god. That is demoralizing. Anyway, after 20 months, the ship goes into orbit around Europa, and its lunar lander lands safely on Europa but misses its target zone. The crew drills through the ice and releases a probe into the underlying sea. Block, who is sleep-deprived and eliciting concern in the rest of the crew, sees a light outside the ship, but he is unable to record it or otherwise convince the crew of its occurrence. The probe is struck by an unknown lighted object, and contact with it is lost. All right, Dashel, you're right. Listen, I'm not discounting the animals who unwillingly did great things to further space travel technology. But still, they died on re-entry into Earth. This is... okay. But, like, just up in space, just around in space. Has anybody died in the ISS? Who's in there right now? Who's in the ISS right now? Who's there? ISS, report in. They're not reporting in. They should have believed the crazy person in the Europa report. I don't know, like, this private space mission, I think it's the problem that it was a privately funded space mission. I think that was the issue. If this had been NASA, this never would have happened. Two have died in space, in the ISS. You worked there. You didn't work in the ISS. I'm looking it up. How many people have died in the ISS? ISS deaths. Okay, fair enough. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Astronaut fatalities. As of March 2021, in-flight accidents have killed 15 astronauts and 4 cosmonauts in 5 separate incidents. 3 of them had flown above the Kármán line, edge of space, and 1 was intended to do so. In each case, the entire crew was killed. The current statistical fatality rate is 3.2%. That's a pretty low percentage, I gotta say. Like, I don't know. Probably more likely to die walking around than if you were in space. I mean, well, yeah, you'd have to go to space like every day for that to be equal. I don't know, whatever. More likely to die in an airplane than you are in space. How is that a high-ass percent? That can't be that bad. Look, going to space is a dangerous thing. Would you take a job that had a 3% fatality rate? I mean, it depends on what the job is. If I'm, like, mining ores in some, like, really dangerous job, yeah, that would be expected. What? Now you want to make me look... Now you're making me want to look up jobs with high fatality rates. Jobs with high fatality rates. Job with highest fatality rate. Fishing and hunting. Whoa, what? That can't be right. The 34 deadliest jobs in America. Okay. Oh. Okay. Apparently one of the deadliest jobs in America is hand laborers and freight stock and material movers. So, yeah, that's 5 deaths per 100,000 people. I don't know what the percentage on that is. Oh my god, X Gilmore, you can't do the 100 M&Ms argument. That's such a... There are so many flaws to that argument. I'm not even going to get into it. This is a long list. Wow. Heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration mechanics and installers, 5.1. Pipe layers, plumbers, wow. Industrial truck and tractor operators. What's the deadliest one? Now I really want to know. Logging workers, fishing and hunting workers. Wow. Apparently that's 132.1 deaths per 100,000. Okay, but this really doesn't help me. Like, what's the percentage on that, then?
Imagine a horror movie where the bodies in space were reanimated by a parasite and was randomly discovered by a group of astronauts.
Oh, thank you, Brandon Porter, for the $5. Reanimated by a parasite. I feel like I've heard of a movie like that. I don't know, you might be onto something. That's 0.1%. Alright, fine. I've been sufficiently owned. Maybe being an astronaut is the deadliest job statistically, but I mean, well, percentage-wise, there's not a lot of astronauts that go to space. Alright, so which ones went bad? Oh, right. That one in 1971 with, the Soviets. Yeah, okay. So they got decompressed on re-entry. That sucks. Okay, well, there's one in 1967 that was a parachute failure. That doesn't count as dying in space. That shouldn't count. That's about as much of a dying in space as somebody who, like, just jumped out of an airplane and messed up with the landing. That's like a skydiving accident. And there's vehicle disintegration on re-entry in 2003. Ooh. That's bad. That was the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. Ooh. And then there's a list of non-fatal things. And fatalities caused by rocket explosions, but that's, you know, kind of expected. Yeah, most of the deaths don't happen when they're in space. Anyway, we were reading the summary to the movie Europa Report. Anyway. Petrovna insists on collecting samples on Europa's surface. The crew votes and she is allowed to go. Analyzing the samples, Luxembourg discovers traces of a single-celled organism. Good start. Petrovna sees a blue light in the distance and decides to investigate it. Fool. As she approaches the light, the ice below her breaks and she falls through. Her head-mounted camera continues to broadcast, displaying her terrified face as the blue bioluminescence is reflected in her eyes before cutting out. The crew agrees to leave to report their discovery to Earth, but the engines malfunction. As the lander hurtles back to Europa's surface, Zoo unbuckles from his seat to dump water shielding to reduce the impact speed. Remarkably, the ship crashes at the originally targeted landing site. On impact, Zoo is killed and the lander is damaged, leaking oxygen and losing heat. It begins to sink into the ice. They're all fucked. They're not going to make it. We get on to something more wholesome. Yes, I'm reading the Europa Report. I'm working on this. I want them to find the fucking space whales. Bloch and Luxembourg suit up to make repairs outside the ship. Luxembourg tries to descend but falls through the ice. Bloch knows that there is no chance that he alone will be able to repair the lander before it sinks. Instead, he manages to fix the communication link to the orbiting mothership at the expense of turning off the life support systems. Just before the same blue light Petrovna saw approaches, and he appears to fall through the ice as well. Dask reestablishes communication with Earth. All the collected images and data that have been saved since the solar storm are relayed to Earth via the mothership, just as the ice cracks and the lander begins to sink. Alone, and anticipating her death, Dask opens the airlock to flood the lander in hopes of revealing the source of the light. As the water rises to the cockpit, she sees a tentacled, bioluminescent creature rising toward her before the camera cuts out. In the epilogue, narrator Samantha Unger confirms that the crew of Europa had discovered life and exceeded every expectation, as the footage plays from an earlier scene of the crew posing in front of the camera. This sounds like a really shitty movie, but it was space squids, not whales. General Luna? It's a history/war movie. That doesn't sound as fun. Why don't we read about space movies? What's my favorite dinosaur? T-Rex, probably. What kind of alien pet would you have? Aliens aren't pets, they're friends. Do you know more dinosaurs than a T-Rex? Sure. There's a Stegosaurus and raptors. If there's no space fish, then how can space whales live in space? 'Cause space whales aren't fish. They're mammals. The Wandering Earth. Okay. A 2019 film that I've never heard of. Apparently it's on Netflix. It doesn't have great reviews. It's got 69 on Rotten Tomatoes. Haha. Oh, it's a Chinese movie. Cool. It was released on Chinese New Year's Day. Interesting. Huh. Apparently it did pretty well at the box office. Jeez. Are squids better than whales? No. Whales are cooler. Gotta read it. Yeah, I'll look at the plot. In 2061, the aging sun is about to turn into a red giant. That seems soon. I thought we had like a few million more years left on the clock with that thing. Okay. And threatens to engulf the Earth's orbit within 100 years, forcing nations to consolidate into the United Earth Government, UEG, the Wandering Earth Project to migrate the Earth out of the solar system and into the Alpha Centauri system is initiated, and uses 12,000 enormous fusion-powered Earth engines built across the northern hemisphere to further torque engines. Okay, I think they're just going to push the Earth out of the way. They're a gravitational slingshot. Yeah, they're pushing it out of the way with rockets, I guess. As if we could unite into one government. Yeah, I don't buy that either. Okay, so what do? They slingshot the Earth using the gravity of Jupiter, and they're out. The Earth is out, I think. Okay. Much of the human population dies in the next few years due to cataclysmic natural disasters, including tsunamis that occur after Earth's rotation is halted. So don't stop the Earth's rotation. Tsunamis, that's a bad idea. As the planet distances from the sun, most of the surface becomes frozen solid, forcing remaining humans to live in vast underground cities built adjacent to and under the engines. 17 years later, in 2078, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have a hard time reading these Chinese names. Liu Piquang? I'm sorry. Is set to return to Earth after the Chinese New Year. His son, Liu Qi, now an adult, obtains fake IDs and thermal suits from criminal gangs and steals his grandfather's clearance pass to take his foster sister, Han Duo, to illegally requisition a heavy transport vehicle. Both are arrested at a nearby checkpoint and get jailed. They meet fellow prisoner Tim and are soon joined by Han Xiang after he unsuccessfully attempts to bribe the prison warden into releasing them. This is a weird movie, I'm going to be honest. So, like, they didn't move everybody into underground cities before they decided to move the Earth? Like, they had to have known there would be natural disasters happening because of that, right? Yeah, this does sound like a very dumb movie. As Earth approaches Jupiter to make use of the gravity assist, a spike in tidal forces causes devastating earthquakes. What tidal force? I thought the entire oceans were frozen. A spike in tidal force causes devastating earthquakes that disable many Earth engines across the globe. Jupiter's gravity puts Earth on a collision course with the gas giant. The four escape the prison amidst the chaos and attempt to make their way to another underground city inside Han Xiang's truck. They are stopped and requisitioned for an emergency mission by a military rescue team led by Captain Wang Lei, transporting a lighter core to restart the O1 Earth engine in Hangzhou. I feel like they're just making this up as they go. In the frozen ruins of Shanghai, they lose their vehicle while transporting the component up the ruins of the Shanghai Tower, where Han Xiang freezes to death after being trapped. After a confrontation with the other rescue team members, Liu, Tim, and Han decide to abandon the mission. The trio come upon a crashed cargo plane with an intact vehicle, where the surviving engineer aboard, Li Yi, eventually convinces them to transport another lighter core to repair the torque engine in Sulawesi, reconciling with the other members on the way. This is really weird. Like, they went up a tower? I feel like if I saw this, it would make sense, but no. I do like the idea of an underground city, though. That sounds nifty. Cannot follow what's going on. Me neither, really. It doesn't help that I don't recognize any of the names. Liu Peikang discovers that Moss, the AI commanding the space station, has prioritized the new mission. Don't tell me there's an evil AI in this, too. Rather than to assist Earth, the station is planned to serve as an interstellar ark to seed a new planet with Earth's biosphere. Leo manages to break out of forced hibernation along with Russian cosmonaut Maxim Makarov in an attempt to reach the control room. While spacewalking, Makarov is killed by the spacecraft's automated security measures. Leo enters the control room, but his attempts of overriding the evacuation procedures are revoked due to insubordination. I don't know what any of this means, bro. Why are we not already making underground cities? We should. We should do that. It'd be fun. I just see the reason I can't follow this movie isn't because I'm too high. I don't think the person who wrote the summary was very good at writing. Yeah. Liu Qi's group arrives at the Sulawesi supply depot to find that the engine was already fully restored along with most others around the planet. However, the combined thrust of the engines is no longer able to divert the trajectory with Earth, approaching Jupiter's rush limit. Moss broadcasts a final message to the world, but Liu Peikang is reluctant to follow the AI's instructions. I don't know what's going on. I think globalization is inevitable. Hopefully. I would love to see a world that was just like, yeah, let's all get along and figure this shit out. Oh yeah, the vitamin D deficiency. Well, we can take vitamins. I admit, an underground city would be pretty depressing, actually. You know, you'd get depressed because of the lack of sunlight. If humans completely went underground, how long do you think it would take for humans to evolve to not need vitamin D anymore? Underground cities would run out of oxygen rather quickly. Oh, all right. Fine. Am I still talking about space? Well, the Earth is like moving through space. Liu Qi proposes to ignite the oxygenated mixture of Jupiter and Earth's atmospheres to blow Earth away. No, that what? Li Yi hacks the Sulawesi engine and concentrates its power to fire a plasma beam tall enough to ignite Jupiter. Oh, they're setting it on fire? The group overcome various challenges and are able to mostly reconfigure the engine to carry out the plan, but are unable to push the firing pin of the engine to ignite it. Liu Pei-kang, contacted by Han, is able to persuade the UEG to use its communication channels to call assistance for the party at Sulawesi, even though Moss reveals that the attempted solution was already proposed by Israeli scientists and has zero chance of success. Other rescue and repair parties arrive in time, and the engine is started along with 2 additional engines, but falls short of being able to ignite the Jovian hydrogen. That's a lot of words. After disabling Moss using a fire started with a bottle of vodka that Makarov smuggled on board. Of course the Russian guy had vodka. What on earth? Liu Pei-kang pilots the space station into the plasma jet, tearfully apologizing to his son for breaking his promise before sacrificing himself to ignite the mix of atmospheres. The subsequent shockwave saves Earth from destruction, with Liu Qi and Han narrowly surviving the aftermath. 3 years later, Liu, Han, and Tim work as transport vehicle drivers as Earth continues towards the Alpha Centauri star system.
So what you all are saying is, staying in underground cities will inevitably turn us into vampires. Got it. P.S. Or mole people.
Thank you, Brandon Porter, for $5. Yes, we will become mole people. Let's do it. Let's become mole people. Also, this movie makes no sense. And they save the world, but now they just work as, like, drivers. Oh, is there a sequel? A sequel, The Wandering Earth 2, starring Andy Lau, has been announced for 2023 and will begin production in October 2021. They're already making it. What's the plot? What's the plot of The Wandering Earth 2? It already has a poster. Okay. It doesn't have any plot previews or anything. That's unfortunate. What about that movie Moonfall? I kind of wanted to see that one. You know, where the moon falls to Earth. He was making the sequel. I don't know, the original producer of the first one. I'm seeing, like, footage of this trailer being played automatically. It doesn't look very good. Well, it's like a modern movie. It looks like a Transformers movie. How long would we be underground before going blind like moles? I don't know. I don't know. It's the worst and best movie he's ever seen. Yeah, it looks like shit, but it sounds fun. I've seen a lot of bad movies for fun. Yeah, I remember one time I watched the last Twilight movie. Just because, like, I wanted to see the battle scene where everybody dies. It was just like a dream sequence or whatever, which is dumb. But that was interesting, you know? They were just like, you know what? If we're gonna do this, we have to include a battle scene. Even if nobody really dies. What about Martian? Is that the one with the guy? What's his face? Martian? Just Martian? Or The Martian? Yeah, I know that one. I've seen it. It's got Matt Damon in it, who fucking promotes crypto now, so fuck that guy. Ah, yes, I remember trying to watch Santa Claus versus the Devil. Who owns the copyright to that movie, and is who put who put that into YouTube's system? Who did that? Who did that? Who do I have to fight? Who do I have to kill? I'm so fucking mad. I'm still mad about it. I know it's been over a year, but I'm still mad. I did watch Little Shop of Horrors. That one nobody could claim because it was never copyrighted in the first place. Beautiful. It was such a weird movie. That's probably why they didn't copyright it. Three Musketeers is public domain. Really? What movie is that? Mystery, detective movies, and stories. They're fine. Three Musketeers movie. Okay, not the 2011 film. I would imagine there's like a shitload of these films. Let's check public domain, the public domain version. Oh, 1921. Is this a silent movie? What? It's 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Publicdomain.net, The Three Musketeers. Wow. Huh, who's in this? Douglas Fairbanks, Leon Barry, George Siegman. Huh. Really? The film had a sequel, The Iron Mask, in 1929. The movie where Matt Damon says the epic Reddit one-liner, I'm gonna science the shit out of this. I would believe that if that was in the book. It probably was. I don't know if that's... That can't be a silent movie, can it? I mean, who would watch a silent movie for 2 hours? That can't be right. I'm gonna try to play it. On my phone. Wow, yeah, that's definitely a 1920s title card. Is it silent? Let me fast forward. What? I think it might be silent. That's okay. I could just read all the lines. There is an extended scene of a guy reading a very long letter. I'm gonna skip forward. Oh yeah, it's silent. What brought you to Paris? I came to join the Musketeers. Actually, yeah, that'd be really funny for me to dub a silent film. My boy, these Musketeers are all picked men. This is ridiculous. I kind of want to do that now. I'm doing that next week. Silent film. I'm gonna dub it. I'll play some royalty-free music over it. I don't care. Birth of a Nation. No fucking thanks, lad. Your fake GF dubs of silent film when? it's a yandere silent film. Dude, I don't know if there are yandere silent films. You find one then. Are all silent films, like, public domain? Are all of them old enough to be public domain? I know that, like, 90% of them were lost over time. You can make the very first yandere silent film. Retro. Try reading Get Out. I know what happens in that movie. It's scary. Unfortunately, I missed seeing it in theaters because I believe I was in Mexico at the time. No, wait. Dominican Republic. My cousin was getting married. Anime could be a yandere silent film. Oh my god, I want to see an anime silent film. That'd be funny. Just like, it's a full minute of a girl beating a guy up, and then the line card comes up and it just says, Baka. Ever scared to do live streaming? Well, it was the first time, actually. The first time I did it on this channel, because, you know, I wasn't really used to people, like, looking at me and stuff. Well, not really looking at me, but, you know, hearing me. It was a new audience. I was nervous. But, in my old channels, yeah, I just kind of, like, showed up and I was just like, hey, I'm here. Don't worry about it. I always found live streaming super fascinating because I was just like, hey, that YouTuber person that I like is live right now. I can literally see what they're doing right now. That's crazy. Would you rather read or watch? I do prefer to read movie summaries sometimes. Like, if it's a movie that I know I probably won't enjoy watching a full 2 hours of, I'll just read the plot summary on Wikipedia. And just imagine a film. Wow, it only had a budget of $4.5 million, but it made over $255 million. That's crazy. The Writers Guild of America ranked Peele's screenplay as the greatest of the 21st century. I mean, I've heard it's good, but it's a little bit early to decide that. I mean, we're only 22 years in. Unless they're really counting on the nuclear war taking us all out. Am I still gonna hang out for a little while? Yeah, I'm reading the plot summary to Get Out. Chris Washington is a black photographer from Brooklyn, New York, preparing for a weekend visit to upstate New York to meet the family of his white girlfriend, Rose Armitage. Hesitant, he asks Rose if her family knows about their interracial relationship, but he assures them that they are not racist. Off to a great start. While there, Rose's brother Jeremy and their parents, neurosurgeon Dean and hypnotherapist, always a bad sign, Missy, make disconcerting comments about black people, and Chris witnesses strange behavior from the estate's black housekeeper Georgina and groundskeeper Walter. Get Out seems like one of those hate white people movies. Hey, man. White people do be deserving a lot of that hate. When Chris is unable to sleep, Missy pressures him into a hypnotherapy session to cure his smoking addiction. While in his trance, he confesses that his mother was killed in a hit-and-run when he was a child, and that he feels responsible for her death as he waited too long to call for help. He then sinks into a void Missy calls the sunken place. The next morning, he assumes that the encounter was a dream, until Walter acknowledges their brief encounter the night before. However, he is pleased to discover that the hypnosis was a success, as he no longer has a desire to smoke. Georgina unplugs his phone accidentally, draining its battery. Dozens of wealthy white people arrive for the Armitage's annual get-together and express admiration for Chris's physique and black figures such as Tiger Woods. Jim Hudson, an art dealer who has gone blind in his old age, takes a particular interest in Chris's photography skills. Chris meets another black man, Logan King, who behaves strangely and is married to a much older white woman. Chris relays the information to his friend, TSA officer Rod Williams. Chris tries to photograph Logan inconspicuously, but when his flash goes off, Logan becomes hysterical, shouting at Chris to get out. The others restrain him, and Dean later claims that Logan had an epileptic seizure. How do you accidentally drain a phone battery? Well, she left it unplugged. Accidentally was in quotes. It was, she accidentally did that. Like, you know. It's so he can't call for help, okay? There's a conspiracy going on here. We'll get to the twist later. Away from the party, Chris convinces Rose that they should leave. Meanwhile, Dean holds an auction with a photo of Chris, which Jim wins. Rod recognizes Logan as Andre Hayworth, a missing man from Brooklyn. Suspecting a conspiracy, Rod goes to the police, but they don't believe him. While Chris packs to leave, he finds photos of Rose in prior relationships with several black partners, including Walter and Georgina, contradicting her earlier claim that Chris is the first black person she has dated. He tries to leave the house, but Rose and her family block him. Chris attacks Jeremy, but Missy uses a trigger that she implanted during his hypnosis, knocking him out. An allegory for MLK. I mean, it could be an allegory, but I don't think it is exactly. Chris awakens strapped to a chair in the basement. In a video presentation, Rose's grandfather Roman explains that the family transplants their brains into others' bodies, granting them preferred physical characteristics and a twisted form of immortality. Jim tells Chris the host's consciousness remains in the sunken place, conscious but powerless. Although the Armitages target mainly black people, Jim explains that he doesn't care about Chris's race, he only wants his eyesight. Missy performs hypnosis, seemingly knocking Chris out. When Jeremy comes to fetch Chris for the surgery, Chris bludgeons him unconscious, having blocked the hypnosis trigger by plugging his ears with cotton stuffing pulled from the chair. He impales Dean with the antlers of a deer mount, causing Dean to knock over a candle and set fire to the operating room, with an anesthetized Jim inside. Chris kills Missy, but is attacked by Jeremy as he heads towards the door. He overpowers and kills Jeremy before leaving in his car, but hits Georgina. Compelled by guilt from his mother's death, he carries her into the car, but she awakens, and, possessed by Rose's grandmother Marianne, attacks him. In the ensuing struggle, the car crashes and Georgina is killed. Rose apprehends Chris with Walter, who is possessed by Roman. Chris uses the flash on his phone to neutralize Roman, allowing Walter to regain control of his body. Walter takes Rose's rifle and shoots her in the stomach before shooting himself. Chris begins to strangle Rose, but she smiles at him, and he finds himself unable to kill her. Police sirens approach, and Rose cries out for help, but the driver is revealed to be Rod, who drives away with Chris. Rose is left bleeding in the road, her fate unknown. Republican lawmakers using MLK to hide any historical discussions concerning race relations? I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I mean, Republican lawmakers seem to be overtly racist, but whatever. Well, I do see people using MLK as, like, an excuse for, like, they shouldn't be protesting violently. They should only do peaceful protests. That'll work. Have I seen the new West Side Story? They remade that? Is it out? Oh, thank you, Brandon Porter, for the $5. Yes, he did make the movie Us.
Fun fact, the producer of Get Out, Jordan Peele, also produced the movie US, the successor of Get Out, aka not a direct sequel, just a similar movie.
Isn't there also that movie coming out called Nope? which seems to be about aliens. I think he directed that too. I would change my mind to make a nostalgia critic video. I'm just not interested. Like, he's not someone I'm a fan of anymore. I don't know what his inside jokes are. He has too many skits. He's got all these extra cast members running around. When it was just him in front of a wall, like, just talking about movies, like, that was fine. I don't care about him anymore. He also did Antebellum. I don't know what that is. West Side Story is on Disney Plus. Well, I'll look at what are the reviews for West Side Story. West Side Story. Yeah. Okay. It's got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It came out in December? Crazy. Who's in it? I don't know any of these people. Ooh. With just 36.6 million in ticket sales, West Side Story is officially a box office bomb. Well, wait, was it released like both in theaters and on Disney Plus at the same time? We as a group watch Disney Plus together? No, I will get sued into oblivion. Well, not sued into oblivion, but copyright claimed into oblivion. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. Its budget was 100 million, but its box office was 72.6 million. Because we were still in a pandemic, probably. Yeah. What was the release of it? Like, release, theatrical. It's meant to release in 2020, but they made them wait or something. And it just became available to stream at home. Oh, this was meant to be a theatrical success? No. Come on, you had to have known that, like, even in like December 2021, nobody felt like going to the movie theater anymore. What? No, you're crazy. These people are crazy. What production company is this? Like, who owns this? TSG Entertainment. Distributed by 20th Century Studios. You fools. Well, this is a remake that nobody was asking for. Who wanted to see West Side Story again? They didn't... Did they even update it? Is it like West Side Story set in like the 2000s? Or is it just... It's still the 1960s and... Love at first sight strikes when young Tony spots Maria at a high school dance in 1957 New York City. It's literally a remake that's set in the same time and place. It's just now. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, I know it's Steven Spielberg, but nobody was asking for this. You know, the original movie actually, like, came out around that time, so it was, like, modern, making it, like, a historical picture, which is what it is, because it takes place 60 years ago. We don't need that. We don't need that. Still waiting on the FNAF movie. Keep waiting. I mean, Scott's no longer involved, though, right? It's so good, though. I have no doubt that, like, the singing and dancing are probably great, but it's a movie that we didn't need. Like, regardless. One thing I wish that Hollywood would start doing is remaking movies that flopped. I know this has been brought up before by tons of different people. Like, if Hollywood was just like, they picked up an old ass movie that like barely made back its budget, they picked up the rights to it for cheap, and they were just like, yeah, let's remake this. It's already got a plot going, and we can make it way better super easily. Like, why not? Have I seen Heathers the musical? No. A FNAF movie. Well, it's being made by Blumhouse, isn't it? It'll probably suck if it ever does get made. Yeah. Well, like, I was thinking of going to see a movie soon. I want to see... Actually, I'm not going to say what I'm gonna see, because one of you might spoil it. It's not that I don't trust you guys, but there are trolls in the midst. Some people waiting out there for me to mention something I want to see, and then they're just like, oh, spoilers. I also kind of want to see The Batman, because I've heard it's good. I remember emailing my friends about the FNAF 4 trailers when they were coming out. You're old. What? That was only like 6 years ago, right? I know that FNAF is like kind of an older franchise now, but you know, it's not that old. Popular games that turn into movies, what would happen? Well, I mean, so far games turning into movies has been a failure, pretty much. Starting with great start with the Super Mario Brothers movie, but there's also the Uncharted movie that just came out, yes? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. And for some reason, they decided to have Tom Holland play Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg be the other guy, when I feel like Mark Wahlberg could have been Nathan Drake. Not that I particularly like him, but, you know, he would have made more sense than babyface Tom Holland. That guy still looks like he's 19. What's the reception on this? What are people saying about this movie? It's got a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, I'm guessing video game movies still suck. Except for the Animal Crossing movie, which was great. I mean, it wasn't a lot going on plot-wise, but it was just a very comfy movie. I would like them to make an updated one for New Horizons. That would be great. Please do that. Nathan Fillion did an Uncharted fan film. Yeah, he would actually be pretty good as Nathan Drake, actually. It's a long plot. I'm not reading this plot to you guys. It's just silly. I mean, the Uncharted games are kind of like... They're all about spectacle and stuff, so just recreate some of the, you know, famous scripted action scenes from Uncharted in movie form. You got yourself an action movie. I don't know how they did this wrong. Wait, Antonio Banderas was in that movie? Wait, Bryan Cranston? Okay. You're still not going to convince me to see it. What was the box office on it? Now I have to know. What was the box office on this movie? Budget 120 million, box office 271 million. That's kind of a flop. What do you think about a Jekyll and Hyde movie? There are a bunch of those. Pretty sure. A super younger Nathan Drake. Yeah, I just don't understand why they would cast someone so young. I get the idea was like Uncharted has a lot of sequels. They probably wanted to make a lot of sequels to this movie, and he would like age into the role, but nah, that's not on, man. He doesn't he doesn't fit the role at all. He doesn't look anything like him. Like someone else would have been better. It made its money back. Yeah, but that's not including advertising budget. So plus, if a movie doesn't make back, like, I think at least 3 times its budget, I'm pretty sure they consider that a failure in Hollywood these days. Tom Holland doesn't age. He will permanently look like a mid-teenager. And that's good for when he's playing Spider-Man, but not for this. Ryan Reynolds as Nathan Drake. He could pull that off. He could. Lego Movie 2 came out and like everyone forgot about it after a month. I didn't see the first one. I know everybody said it was good, but I was just like, I was one of those people at the beginning that was like, a Lego movie? It's just like, y'all will make movies out of any established property, won't you? I will say that the concept that they went with for it was really creative, but I have no idea what happened in the second one. Actually, no, wait, I think I do. There was like a villain song that was sung, like the villain song was the villain insisting that they're not evil. I'm pretty sure that was a song in the movie. Pretty sure. And I only know that because it was in an HLVRAI animatic with Benry doing the singing. Oh, by the way, HLVRAI just had its 2nd anniversary. Does anybody want to do a watch party for that? Probably not. I would love to show you guys HLVRAI. Ryan Reynolds, an angsty film location scout in Vancouver, lamenting about how Vancouver is never featured as its own city. It's cheaper to film in than New York. Ugh, my voice. The upcoming Percy Jackson series. Never read the books, but I do know that the original movie was filmed in Vancouver as New York. Beautiful. Daniel Craig is Nathan Drake. He's a bit too old, I think. What's my favorite type of ball? Exercise ball.
You're a real faker?
Who did that?
That's so cool.
Who is the real faker? I don't have the readout on that. Thank you, Jacob CV, for continuing to be a real faker for 2 months. Please play Inscription. All right, next week. Next week. We're gonna stream the Three Musketeers silent film and also Inscription. Next week, we'll do that. An Attack on Titan movie? No, they didn't actually do that. You're lying to me. You're lying to my face right now. No way. No way. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You're lying. Didn't Attack on Titan already have a movie that was, like, bad? Attack on Titan movie. 2022. Thank you, Brandon Porter, for the $5.
Bruh, what was that humming? Legit thought my microwave was on.
That was me. That was me. Okay. Thank God you were lying. Wait, but there is a movie coming out in 2022. There's a trailer for it right here. Ugh, fucking ads. Why do I have to watch an ad for an ad? Oh, okay, it's just a concept. Good. It's just a concept made by some fans. Good. It looks pretty cool though for a fan project. I'm not watching this. Have you seen the As God Wills? It's basically Japanese Squid Game. I mean, there are plenty of death game animes, alright? There's a bunch of them. Danganronpa doesn't exactly, like, count, because it's kind of different. They have to kill each other, but there are a ton of anime and shows where there are competitions where people get killed if they mess up. There's plenty of those. Squid Game was not really all that unique, but it did have a criticism of capitalism, so own it. Dead Man Wonderland, is that one of them? Sure. I mean, you're the man of culture here. You would know. Make American Squid Game. Voice of Squidward should be the first. Seen Hellboy? Great movie. They should really do a third one. Oh, it was really that bad, huh? I think I've seen the first one, but I was really young. Squid Game was real. We could cut down population issues. Great. You know, we could cut down the population by, encouraging, giving sex education, giving people free birth control, and just... We don't need to do the fascist thing. We don't have to kill people off in order to lower the population. We can just, help people not have as many kids, and the population would go down naturally on its own over time. We could do that. But unfortunately, capitalism requires the infinite growth model, which is stupid and impossible. It's just, the line can't go up forever. That's insane. America Squid Game would be overdramatic. It would suck, honestly. We produce way more food than we need already. Yeah. Nobody cares about getting it to people who need it. Infinite growth can happen, you just need the vision. I don't know what that... Is that a reference? Because no. It's dumb. I'm 19 as of today. I can hear my joints creaking. Put me in a home. Oh no. They're gonna kick you off of our teenagers. I finally unsubbed from that today. Because, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk about why. If you've been on that subreddit, you know why. The reason I didn't unsub when I finally stopped being a teenager was because I just wanted to know what the kids were up to. I don't want to lose touch. Do Inscription after the silent film stream. Okay. The Graduate is public domain? Really? Cringy teen doing cringy things? Not exactly. They were having arguments about inequality, but from the side that's men can be assaulted too. That kind of argument. And I'm like, yeah, we know it's fucked up, and there needs to be laws for that too. But they're pretty much just doing it for karma. They're just yeah, this can happen to men too. And I'm just okay, well then, we should do something about that. But you bringing attention to this is not helping. You're just making a post about it. Yeah, cringy teens doing cringy things. Yeah, I guess I'm just too old for it. No one on that sub actually cares. They just want useless points. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll admit I went through that phase when I was a teenager, too. Like, I started, like, seeing things from, like, other perspectives, and I'm just like, wow, what if, like, men are oppressed? But I'm sorry, guys, you're really not oppressed. You're super not, especially if you're white. I know that's gonna piss off all, like, the anti-SJW guys, but, like, come on. You're doing fine. Livestream getting serious. You're right, we should stop. How often do I stream? Saturdays and Sundays. If cows treated people like we treat cows, they eat us? I'm pretty sure cows have eaten people before. On Instagram, you see so many people reposting memes. Listen, I come from the meme core, the place where they make the memes. Tumblr. Think about how many times you've seen a Tumblr post reposted to some other website, or a meme that originated on Tumblr and you wouldn't even know it, reposted to somewhere else. Where, like, I know the live slug reaction thing technically got started with a tweet, but Tumblr made it into a meme. The biggest meme. Tumblr takes things from other parts of the internet and they make them memes. They make them their own unique thing. The Tumblr ecosystem is fascinating. Did you guys hear about the PS5 TikTok guy? Nobody gave a shit about it on TikTok, but on Tumblr we were just like, yes, PS5 guy. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to be. Get to reach 16-year-old and pick up the most extreme meme ideology they can. Oh, the freshman is public domain. What's that? I've never heard of it. Less than 10 people die every year from cow-related injuries when cows lay on them. No! Cows! Okay, I'll look up the freshman. What is that movie? Freshman. Public domain. Published in 1927? Okay. It's a 1925 comedy film that tells the story of a college freshman trying to become popular by joining the school football team. Okay, that sounds like a 90s movie from the 1920s. They point out a problem and draw the completely wrong conclusion for what the source of that problem is. Yeah, exactly. You're unsubbing because I have a different opinion. No. Not a lot of Daily Wire ads. Oof, sorry to hear that. I'm gonna say random facts about Scooby-Doo. I mean, that's allowed, but don't be obnoxious with it. Okay, it stars Harold Lloyd, Jobinia, Ralston, Brooks Benedict, and James Anderson. It remains one of Lloyd's most successful and enduring films. In 1990, The Freshman was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, going in the second year of voting and being one of the first 50 films to receive such an honor. Huh. Is it a silent movie? Do I play Genshin? Reverse question, is it on Switch yet? Because if not, no. If they're not going to put it on Switch, I'm not going to play it. Because I bet it runs like shit on phones, and I don't want to have to play. I don't want to play a game where I have to like sit down at my computer to play it. I'm sick of that. I want to be able to take it with me. It's a silent movie, okay. I'm gonna look at some of the title, some of the word cards. Pipe the latest sport model freshman with the old-fashioned trimmings. Let's ride 'em. Oh, yeah? It says let's ride 'em. I know that meant something different back then, but LOL. Nintendo or Solus. Yes, they are, but the Switch slaps. Wait, didn't that Switch, well, not the Switch, the Steam thing come out lately? If I found one of those, doesn't that mean that I could play Genshin Impact on it, technically? Couldn't I do that? Can I do that? They're probably sold out for like 1,000 years. But, oh, they had that preview for that new, short Portal game that I kind of want to look at. The Steam Deck, yes. Scene from Elden Ring where that one lady holds you. Yeah, I've seen that one. What does she do? She just... I watched Wayne Radio TV play it, and what is the purpose of that scene? She just gives you a hug? I do like the no maidens jokes. She played Jump King. What is that? She gives you an HP debuff. Why? That's the price of getting a hug? That sucks. I'm looking up Jump King. What is this? Jump King? It's a video game. Video game. Jump King. Tactical leaping adventure. Jump King. There is a smoking hot babe at the top. Great start. Have I ever played Celeste? No, but I've heard about it. Okay, I'm looking at Jump King. I'm looking at it. I'm actively looking at it. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. WW and Scooby-Doo have done 2 crossovers. Well, I knew they had done crossovers. Take up the challenge. Okay. But explore with care. A single missed jump could lead to a long fall back down. This guy looks like not Hollow Knight. He looks like Shovel Knight if he wasn't trying. Why is this $17? What's the reviews on this? Very positive. 90% all time. Okay, never mind. He looks absolutely ridiculous. Gonna go mess around in CAD until I make an invention that gives me money to buy everyone a Steam Deck. Heh. Prepare for high stakes platforming. Use your mind before you jump. So it's pixel art, of course. We all expected this. Jump King, New Babe Plus mode. The Ghost of the Babe. You're not Duke Nukem. Fuck off. Let me look at this trailer. Okay. I have a pre-order for the Steam Deck and quartered. It's $400? Well, that's around the Switch price, isn't it? This trailer doesn't... It's not showing any gameplay. It's just showing a guy. Jump. What the fuck? Oh, that's the Ghost of the Babe trailer. My bad. Okay, he's jumping. He's jumping. Oh, he's jumping. That's a lot of jumping action. Oh no, he's falling. Oh, he's jumping again. He's falling. Oh, he's jumping. Oh, he's jumping. He's falling again. He's jumping. Oh, he jumped a lot. No, he slid down. And he jumps. And he's falling. And he's still falling. Great game. 10 out of 10. Switches are like 300. Okay, fair enough. But the thing with the Steam Deck is that it can play games that aren't endorsed by Nintendo. You could play the hentai games on it. You could play Dramatical Murder on a Steam Deck. I think. I don't know. Whatever. Nintendo are the Disney of video games. God, that's so true. Like, I like the Switch a lot, but I don't like Nintendo's practices at all. Fake streams, Honey Pop, uncensored. No thanks. Kinda lets you play hentai games. It's Sony that blocks them. Yeah, seriously. I don't know, man. I'm kind of sick of not being treated like an adult. Like, that was a thing in Devil May Cry 5, too. Like, they censored one of the cutscenes to hide one of the characters' butts or something. They just had a shining light over it like it was an anime or some shit. It looked bad. It looked bad and it was dumb. It was an M-rated game. What are we doing? They canceled Owl House for having good gay representation. Is it canceled? That sucks. The next stream could be you live describing a game you don't show. Yeah, it's Jump King. They just don't want people putting NFT in games because fuck NFTs. I'll respect that. That's the only thing I'll respect about them, though. I don't think you can actually stream on the Steam Deck. They didn't include that? Come on. There's got to be a way to connect it to your computer. I mean, that's probably like an add-on for I have an Elgato. If I have an Elgato, I can probably stream the Steam Deck. We had 3 specials for the final series. Oh, that sucks. God. That's the worst. It's one of the good things Disney made. Yeah. I love Tim Hortons makes me wish Canada was real. Well, that's a sentence nobody's ever said before. Nobody loves Tim Hortons. People are like actively buying McDonald's coffee over Tim Hortons coffee. And they don't sell blueberry bagels there anymore. Every time I've tried to buy a blueberry bagel at Tim Hortons, they're just like, we don't have those anymore. What the fuck? That's like the best kind of bagel. Cinnamon raisin is good too, but I prefer blueberry. Skullgirls is a pretty underrated fighting game. I thought people really liked that game. Steam Deck runs on Linux. Oh, okay. So it feels like it's going to be infinitely moddable if you know what to do. Dunkin' coffee is the best. I don't think we have those around here. You found human skin? Ugh. Gross. Do you keep asking in the hopes that they will be there this time? The last time I asked was years ago. I've given up at this point. I know they don't have them. I'm looking it up. I'm going to look it up right now. Right now I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. You can't stop me from looking it up. I can't be stopped. You can't stop me. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right now. Raisins are garbage tier. You're wrong. Tim Hortons. Blueberry bagel. Okay, bagels at Tim Hortons. This is from their company website. company.timhortons.com. Varieties. Let's check out what varieties they have in bagels at Tim Hortons. I bet you anything, blueberry's not going to be on here. Plain, everything, cinnamon raisin, cheddar cheese, sesame seed, 12 grain, sun-dried tomato Asiago specialty bagel, maple cinnamon French toast specialty bagel. Maple cinnamon French toast bagel is just cinnamon raisin without the raisins. Jalapeno Asiago mozzarella specialty bagel, that sounds awful. Pretzel bagel, that also sounds awful. And no blueberry. I know they used to have it. I know they did. I went there as a kid and they had blueberry bagels. They don't have them anymore. Fight me in the street, Tim Hortons. I hate it there. Where else am I supposed to get a blueberry bagel? They're even hard to find at grocery stores now. I don't know when blueberries went out of fashion. They still sell blueberry muffins. They still sell blueberry muffins there. Do we have to fight? Do we have to fight? Do we all have to fight? Do we all have to get up in a gang and fucking fight the entity that is Tim Hortons? Do we have to do that? What's the word on the street, Tim Hortons? Answer me. Everything bagels are just seeds. Yeah, I don't like seeds in my bread. Or the Batman calzone. Is it just a calzone shaped like the bat symbol? You can go to Walmart right now and get blueberry bagels. Sure. But there are several grocery stores that I've been to around in this area where I would go to the bagel section and they would not have blueberry bagels. They just had the other ones. The blueberry bagel section was always empty. It was so disappointing. Big Bagel killed the blueberries. Yes. It's a conspiracy by Big Bagel. Tim Hortons was probably making big bucks during the trucker strike. Truckers love coffee. I doubt it. Because, I mean, the whole thing about the truckers was that they were just, in one place. And their trucks weren't moving, so they couldn't go to the drive-thru, and they weren't allowed in the store without masks on, which they refused to wear, so. It's shaped like the bat symbol. Okay, that's weird. Make double chocolate cookies, but half of them have chocolate-covered raisins instead of chocolate chips, so you can turn it into a game of roulette. I've made cookies with chocolate-covered raisins in them before. They don't really turn out all that well because, I don't know, the way, the chocolate doesn't melt correctly. I'd have to make them myself, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's not bad. It's just the cookies don't really turn out all that well, so you'd really be able to tell easily. Bagels, everything bagels. Andrew Garfield. What does Spider-Man have to do with this? Anyway, it's been about 2 hours, so I think I'm going to wrap things up. Yeah. I'm going to wrap things up. Leave things on my bagel disappointment. Chocolate has a lower melting temperature than the raisins. It'd ruin the surprise. Yeah, you can kind of tell that they're raisins, too. I don't know. Unless you made the cookies so thick that it would, hide the raisins within them. Guy who dresses up like Rengoku from Demon Slayer and holds anti-mask rallies. Why would that be a thing in Japan, though? Even before the pandemic, wearing a mask in Japan when you're sick was, a common, cultural thing. It's just polite. I don't know. Stupid. Anti-maskers are dumb. I'm gonna leave. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who watched me lose my mind over bagels and space whales. Alright. have a lovely evening. We will be back tomorrow with a very long video. And I know it's very long because it took me all weekend to edit it. It's going to be very long. Not going to say what it is, it's very long. Have a lovely evening.